And we're live!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new ass-kicking edition of the Fans of Power podcast, the only podcast that tells you what we really think and don't expect to get anything in return. If we think the modern stuff is shit, we're going to tell you it's shit. We think the old stuff is great. Well, the old stuff's always better than the new stuff anyway here. Just one way to kick all that new shit in the ass, you know. That's what we do on this podcast. We piss people off who are new and... let's see.
Where are you going with this, man?
Hey, I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it here, you know, because we always do the cliche round the table thing here. I'm just kind of speaking philosophically here, you know. You know what? Fuck it. Anyway, I'm Tyler Baker, Nathan Kennedy. That's a Nathan. You know, and Nasty. I'm getting the names fucked up here. See what happened? I went off the cue cards. Now I can't even speak right here.
So, that's one Sid moment right there. Holy shit.
Yeah, now we're live, pal. Fuck. Or Gene Oakland. Fuck it.
Well, you have to let that SummerSlam fall down. Yeah, have the SummerSlam sign fall down behind you.
Yeah, fuck it. But anyway, I apologize for that. I'll get it right next time. Anyway, but we are girlish on this show. It's a Sausage Fest. This is the Sausage Fest edition of Fans of Power podcast. Yeah. It won't happen too often, but
so all you perverts that are out there goober gazing when she's on the show, you're just gonna have to concentrate on Tyler's biceps. I'm
the only skin you're gonna see here tonight, guys. So don't be asking me to change in any other outfits or anything like that.
They couldn't even gaze on my nipples if I wanted them to because these letters are blocking my nipples, so I couldn't even give nipple action like normally.
Well, Joe, you could at least fondle where your nipples are at to let the perverts know. Hey,
a little bit right there on that.
That's where they're at. They're right there.
Right on the M, right there on the M. This one's on the L for lake. Yeah. So I got some L and M, M and L, whatever, right there, milk. I got them going.
And that right there's lick it. Yeah.
That's. Oh my God. Oh shit. What's going on? Well, let me quickly. I'll say.
You're not going to get this on any other He-Man podcast.
That's true. That's true.
Well, quickly, I'll say hello in the chat, and then we can ramble about something else, or why Rebecca might be MIA for this episode. But we have MC DJ. See, I just do that, Nathan. I don't do the whole thing.
You said that shit last week.
I'm gonna say it again, but you say the next name. Say it.
Johnny Cock.
All right.
That was really aggressive too. I was just like, holy shit.
That was. Parik is here. Casey Duncan. Gamerbud. Adam Gabbert. Aaron Anderson. I'm scrolling. I think it says Zentron. Cheryl Smith. Still scrolling. Remember, everybody, it takes me time to do this, so I apologize. You know I'm going to miss somebody. It always happens. And they're really, hey, you fucking missed me. Papa Hud 69, Brian Davis.
Do people say that? Do people get pissy if you don't say their name?
I don't get pissy, but somebody did say, hey, you missed me. Which
you didn't say my name.
You spoiled the listener to where we give them this award every single week for just looking at their computer. Look what you've done. You turned them into monsters.
Speaking of a listener that's pretty cool, Enzo is here. And Enzo, I did a custom for him, but he heard about that. You know, he's always hearing, or everybody is, about me and my, the way I eat and all the crazy shit. He's like, Joe, you got to have some real Canadian syrup. You got to have some real Canadian syrup. I'm going to send you some.
Is Enzo a Canuck?
I believe he is, or unless I don't know if he moved to Canada, but I have to be
unless he could live in
unless he goes over some black market maple syrup, across the Canadian.
Well, he is. He is from Canada.
Well, he could live in Buffalo. That's not very far to get from Buffalo into Canada, so
or Washington.
No, but he is in Canada.
Northern Washington, yeah.
So he sent these two bottles. One was shaped like a maple leaf. The other just looked like a bottle of like rum. But they both look like liquor.
Rum.
I mean, even the one, I bet with you.
That's how Joe would trick me too. He's like, "Hey man, look at this. There's some nice rum for you." And it turns out just
drinks some syrup. And Nathan's our local Jack Sparrow on this podcast. Where's the rum gone?
He pretty much is. But yeah, that one bottle, it looked like it could have been liquor or even cologne. But anyway, so he sends me, you got to try.
Joe,
you drink it anyway?
Yeah.
Well, and it looked expensive as fuck, too. It's like, man, I was like, I got to make this last because I'm used to the cheap shit at the stores. So he said, this is real stuff. He said that, unopened, that stuff could last 40, 50 years, and in the fridge, it should be fine once you open it. But anyways, he sent cookies with it, too, some of these maple cream cookies. So I was like, well, I wanted to drink it just to see what it was like, but I couldn't do it with my mask, so I got the straw, and I sucked that one syrup through the straw because it was like a little thinner, not as thick. then he's like, the other ones you got to open up and then pour the stuff on it. So I was pouring it on the cookies, and then I was washing down the cookies in syrup with other syrup. I'm fucking bizarre.
God, Joe.
Get some milk,
yeah, this shit had,
Joe Don Baker couldn't even do that shit.
I was wired after that too. He's like, man, I could imagine with all that sugar high. So thanks Enzo for getting me super wired, and those cookies were gone.
All right. So now I want Joe to drink a Reign energy drink on the podcast. If he's willing to do all this other stuff and get wired from that, I want him to drink a 300 milligram Reign energy drink, either orange, rainbow sherbet, blue raspberry, gummy bear, cherry limeade.
Gummy bear.
A drink. Oh, it tastes just like a gummy bear. It's really good.
That's fucking weird.
Oh God, yeah.
Does it have caffeine by chance?
Because I'll be honest, an energy drink, Joe.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I mean,
I drink before I work out.
Like I told you with the protein stuff I had, there was no caffeine with that, but I have not had caffeine in like 26 years.
Sure, the drink for old people, and that got you.
I do, because I'm old as dirt. I'm old as dirt. But anyways, I haven't had caffeine in like 26 years. I haven't drank pop. So do you think that would get me too wired? Because I'm super wired already.
Find out.
I don't want to collapse on the podcast.
I'm just saying, like, I know some guys that it makes them like really flushed, and they get heart palpitations and.
Oh well, shit. Then I might want to.
Well,
I'm too wired for that.
Speaking of that, I'll probably get up here in a minute and go out there because I totally forgot to get that. I did buy that. What the fuck's it called?
Coke Starlight. Did you buy it?
Yeah, I bought a bottle of it, so I'll go and pour that into a solo cup. Put some ice in there. Because I put it in the fridge because the display you told me, like they weren't keeping them cold, and I'm like, I'm not gonna drink that warm, so I'll get up here in a minute and go do that. Someone was I'm surprised that neither one of these guys before we started the show was like, oh hey man, badass shirt, you can get this on TeePublic. This is
well, see, Nathan, I already own that on a tank top.
Oh yeah, that's right, you do.
Podcast.
That's true.
Yes.
I forgot about that. But yeah, go to TeePublic and get that. This is not a Joe Amato joint, but just go to TeePublic. You probably just look up Master Universe or just look up Motu movie. Do it Joe's way.
Yeah, you can't just put in He-Man. God, TeePublic is cracking down on like legitimately good artwork. It's nothing but people who can't fucking draw, uploading shit on TeePublic or just putting random weird shit or just TV stuff. Everything that doesn't require a lot of effort. Any bastard kid can just sit there, doodle on a notepad. Here, Dad, scan this, put it on TeePublic. We'll make a lot of fucking money.
Did you say any bastard kid? Jesus
any
Christ.
Bastard kid.
Oh, what a fucking
Not a day goes by. Not a day.
Yeah.
And I hear about some bastard kid getting caught stuck in the
involving
elevator.
some escalator.
Elevator, Jesus.
Yeah, we're referencing mall rats.
All right, well, let me finish with
There's
the
a kid
chat.
calling the escalator.
Okay, Joe's like, I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna.
I'm just gonna move on now. I'm gonna go get that.
No, you're not gonna go.
I
You gotta let me finish it, then you can go. Stay right there.
Because I want Joe to try this too. We're doing some Coke promotion here. Fans of Power Podcast, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
No,
my God.
Not a sponsor. Oh shit! There's one thing I forgot about. We do have a sponsor this week, but I don't have. We don't have. They didn't send us a script. AKA, I forgot to write one, but I'll get that. We'll still throw it to our sponsor later on in the show. We'll come up with something.
Fetmon, Spider Rat.
Joe's like, I don't care. I got.
Yeah, we gotta make sure.
Before my brain shuts down like it always does. And let me see. JMac77. I said Jeff Morris. Jesus Christ, what am I doing, people? I'm just fucking all out.
Just do it all over again, Joe. Just say everybody's name again.
And Felipe is here and there. I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Holy shit.
Now can I get up? I had to stay here just to hear you repeat names that I can clearly see on my own screen. Thanks, Joe.
Show some respect to the chat.
Show some respect for the chat.
Joe and his, respect.
Otherwise, he's gonna take this headphone cord and wrap it around my neck and just choke me out. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
In the back seat of a car, dumps into a river. Spring there, I think.
Well, anyways, there was, because I know Nathan, I didn't know if he heard about it. It's nothing super giant. I know there's nothing you'd collect, but there was a shadowed off image of some Origin, Masterverse, and some other maybe type of figures. So Origins, of course, I'm going to collect. Masterverse, I don't collect. I don't know what the other is, but did you even see or hear about the shadowed off images of this week?
I never saw a single toy reference to He-Man on social media, anywhere, on Google, nothing.
So you missed.
I have no.
Okay, well, it was a couple days ago. There was a blacked out image of figures going to be shown this week, I guess. And in the main center, you've seen a shadow image which looked like a shadow of a 2000X He-Man. Next to him is, I was like, they can't be doing another Goddess / Teela. It's like we got 2 already. And then something, and I think they had Sunman for Masterverse, maybe a Beastman, or I don't know what the other one was, way to the far left, but to the right, I didn't know what it was. But I just hope Mattel doesn't start doing what was the disaster for the other lines, is a lot of the repaints and variants. Because here's an example. In Origins, the only 2 figures I see clogging the shelves usually a lot is that 2000X Eva Lynn variant, because there's nothing new to her. And, of course, Stratos, because they didn't make the real mini-comic Stratos. All they did was the colors and nothing different. And Stratos is flooding the shelves. And so I'm getting scared thinking, okay, now you're going to have that with the Goddess. He-Man, is it just going to be a new head? Will they give him the new armor? He does have his 2000X sword, but that's all I've seen for Origins-wise, and I don't think I heard anything else. I think there was some teaser images of a possible in Masterverse, I think Frosta, Roboto, Stratos, and somebody else I can't fucking remember. But they were just showing teasers.
I'm curious to know too, since the new show was a fucking flop. There's no denying it. You know, are they going to continue to just make characters that were in that show, or is what is their end game with that?
I think they were. Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think, of course, they were hoping the cartoon would have been a super, success. So the Masterverse, set of them would go nuts. But since that cartoon didn't do what they thought, and those figures are clogging, I think they're going to go more into the new Eternia stuff, to where they will have characters and Princess of Power. Because remember, we would get anything from She-Ra. New Eternia would be anything new, and I'm assuming that Sunman, I don't know if he'd be new Eternia, but I'm thinking they're axing the designs based off of that Revelations cartoon. If I was to use any logic and judgment from what I've seen preview-wise, I think they're just going to try maybe going in a different direction. So I'm not sure, but that's what it looks like.
They would be very foolish to think that they're going to stubbornly continue on putting out. Like, I'm sure a lot of it was too far gone. They got to go through with it, whether it was a flop or not. But I'd like to think that they found it pretty quickly. It pissed off a lot of people more than anything else, and that the toys are not doing, we'll just say, what they had hoped for. So if they were smart, I'm sick and tired of like this whole like Masterverse kind of like concept anyway. I thought we were going to be getting that with Origins, where you just can be putting out figures from all over the place. But it feels like still Mattel has no idea where they're going with any of this stuff. It's just kind of like throwing shit at the wall, and whatever it lands on, that's what we're going to put out. Like, I'm sure in their mind they have a plan, but to us as consumers, from what you tell me, what I see, it's just kind of a merry-go-round, and you don't know what's going to fall off, what's going to step off next, because it's just going in circles. Like there's no, we're not heading towards a direction. It's like with classics, at least the goal was to put out all the vintage figures and to give you characters that we had never, ever had in figure form. Like, we all knew that. Even with the things we disagree with, we knew where it was going. This is just random weird shit happening with this line. And Origins as well.
Yeah, I think we've said it before. I believe Origins was meant to be really a placeholder just to get people back into the stores knowing He-Man was there, in hopes that the 2 new cartoons would have been so amazing and successful that those lines would have sold like crazy, and then Origins just would have fizzled out. But they seen it was different. Origins is the one that a lot of people are buying, and unfortunately, at least in my areas and what people show, Masterverse is not selling like they thought, and the CGI one isn't selling like they thought. So I think they're redirecting to where they want to focus more on Origins, and maybe now with the Masterverse figures, go in the directions of New Eternia, Princess of Power, and maybe trying to do that and just forget what they were doing based off the cartoons. Just a thought, but... Well,
they would be wise if they were smart and they stopped being so damn stubborn and trying to push their own bullshit on everyone.
What did I miss?
Yeah,
I would just talk about why it just comes off like Mattel has no idea where they're going with the He-Man property in general, like in terms of the toys. Like, it's just weird random stuff they're just putting out, like with no real goal.
Did you guys talk about the new picture that was shown? Everything's a mystery.
The
2000
X He-Man and all that. I hadn't seen it because I just haven't seen it.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to make my other drink I normally have on here, and you know how Emily is always like handing me a drink through the show, so I went ahead and made her one while I was out there.
That's for being a gentleman.
That's what took me so long, but. Yeah, she took a sip of this Coke Starlight. I don't know what Joe said, and he was laughing to himself. But
okay,
it smells. I didn't take a drink yet, Joe.
What did she like it? Did she like the drink?
She said it tasted like raspberry. She was like, it tasted like raspberry. Yeah. She's like, I don't think I could drink a lot of it. It does. It does smell a little like a hint of raspberry, but it's like I don't know. I mean, Coca-Cola, just if you just smell it, sometimes it can just smell kind of weird to you anyway. But all right, yeah, fuck it. I'll go ahead and take a sip. This is supposed to taste like space, or that's how they're promoting it, right?
That's the gimmick behind it.
That's got like a bitter kick to it.
Really?
To me, yeah.
God, everyone has a different response to that drink. Everybody. Not one person has had the same response.
Well, this also is the Coke Starlight Zero. I didn't get the regular one. I got the Zero one, so maybe there's a difference there too.
Could be.
Man, my hair's really frizzy. It's like Joe's hair tonight down here. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, possibly, Nathan, is it because you drink so much alcohol, you're losing your taste buds, and it just, I don't know.
You know, I've often thought about that because stuff
That's
does.
being serious.
Yes, no, stuff does kind of taste a little different sometimes. There's just like a dull. I can't taste stuff.
Or the drink Coke without any rum is just kind of,
I drink.
He's like, it's fantastic once I add this shit to it. This is great, Tyler. Best fucking drink ever. Buy Coke, as he's fucking falling over the chairs and shit. Yeah, swish it around like you're drinking a fine wine.
And you spit it out in the bucket.
Yeah, that's
swirl it in your mouth.
It's got just a bitterness to it to me.
A bitterness.
Like almost like you put it almost tastes similar to me like those coffee ones that Coke's doing right now.
The Coke coffees?
Yeah. Kind of tastes like one of those a little bit. Tastes like space.
This doesn't sound like a good sponsor for it at all. We might not.
No,
we might have to
but hey,
shit.
I don't drink soda, so I'm not going to try it. But
yeah, it's got a bitter kickback. But I mean, it's not bad. But like she said, I don't think I could drink a lot of it.
A whole 20 ounce of that.
Oh no, fuck no.
All right. I did want to read one thing from last week or 2 weeks ago from one person who left a comment. But before that, Sobek, who was here in the chat room that joined us. If you want, we get later towards the end after we do our discussion, we do the question and answers. You can pop in any questions you want there, and we'll definitely answer what you have because I seen there was some early stuff you had right there. But thank you for joining us. That's pretty cool. A couple weeks ago, we did an episode, and one of the listeners made a comment. His name is Ducko. He said, I don't comment too often, but just dropping a comment here. Been listening for years and will continue to do so. This podcast brings me a lot of joy during stressful days, and it's good stuff as a He-Man Masters fan as well. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful week. And that was it. But, Ducko, we appreciate your continued support, but knowing, we can actually help get you through stressful days and stuff like that, that makes us feel good. Because, hell, that's why we do the show, too. It's just a bunch of friends hanging out, having a good time, interacting with the chat, giving each other shit, but while of course doing Masters, discussing this stuff that's never been said before, and just having a good time. So I'm glad at least he gets that, and we can help out those days where we all have shitty days.
Yeah, I mean that's I know that you guys sometimes think that this show is therapeutic for you, but it's also therapeutic for us because while we're doing the show, I don't think about a lot of other things, so it definitely like clears my head at least for a couple hours. I can kind of just get out of whatever space or whatever space. I just drank some space, but
you drank some Coke Space.
Yeah, yeah. We appreciate that. I'm glad that us making fun of Joe and his weirdness brings others joy, not to just us, but to the entire world. I don't know where I'm going with that.
No, I am thankful because I thrive on comments. I like seeing people's responses and reactions to episodes, or just like this one, just saying, hey, look, they just really appreciate our efforts and what we do every week. And all that does is motivate us to keep going. So I thank Ducko a lot for taking time to write that. And I want to encourage everybody, if you like stuff, we all of us read the comments, and a lot, oftentimes we'll respond it, or we don't ignore any comment. So if you like something or you don't like something, honestly, I got to say this, it's not too often we get someone who is negative towards us. Like very rarely does anybody come out.
I don't think towards us, but I think more along the lines of just something that we said didn't sit right with them. Maybe, I don't know.
I think mainly it's because they don't like us trashing the new stuff because they're fucking new to He-Man.
Well,
so
you know,
they're like, how dare you?
I get it to a degree. Whatever. It is.
I do love Origins, though. Like I said, I've said it many times. I'm still going to collect all the
yeah,
Origins
that's right.
stuff.
Yeah, because a while back, someone was crapping on us for trashing Origins, and Joe's like, but I didn't say anything. They're the ones you want to go after.
It's these motherfuckers. I said I liked Origins. They're jumping down me too. It's like I'm in the boat with these dickheads. Come on now.
I know it's like, buddy. You know, me and Rebecca are the ones that really have problems with Origins. If you have anything ugly to say,
no, they're gonna point it to you. They're not gonna be like pretty.
Well, you're not gonna
pretty
go after
girl.
Rebecca. She's a girl.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have we?
Because they're all feminists and shit.
We haven't mentioned why she's not on here this week, right? Do we want to go ahead and mention that, Joe? Should we throw that to you to?
Should we, or just say that?
We'll just say she's flying home.
Yeah.
She's flying home. Yeah, she's flying home. Maybe later in the week we'll see, when she returns and something. So keep your eye. That's why we always say, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell. We always stress that. Ring the bell. You'll be notified when we go live and we have new episodes because it might be a lot sooner than next Sunday. So just keep that in mind.
Should we also let another big cat out of the bag? Personal milestones over here for us on the show. I know what this
They're
man...
going to send you messages like, oh, go ahead.
I know what this man looks like now. I have seen Joe Amato's face, and I know why he's got it covered. And Tyler can attest to this.
He is fucking repulsive here, people.
He really is.
I mean, we're talking growths, snakes, moles, pimples on pimples.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the grossest fucking thing I have ever seen. But this guy needs to be in a bell tower and never come out to the public, man.
That's right.
It's unbelievable.
He makes Sloth from the Goonies look like Fabio.
He does. I mean, he likes to eat Rocky Road, and Baby Ruth, and that's just how he knows how to talk. He runs around on all fours in the bell tower.
We kid, but it is true. We have seen Joe's face. It only took 4 years, almost 5 years, but I've seen the man's face.
It took a lot longer. It took longer for me than anybody.
I know. I saw it first.
Yeah. Nathan saw. Well, it's just like, okay, I guess I'm just a bologna sandwich anymore.
I was gonna reveal one time. It's all Rebecca's fault. Well, you'll find out soon enough. It's because of her. That's the reason.
If there's any private eyes or anyone that's good at composite sketches, I can describe them to you, and you can draw them out, and we can put that out there for the world.
I mean, I did come up with like a concept.
Did you draw something up? Did you really draw something up?
Well, I mean, I can send it to Nathan and see if he wants to, put it up.
No, just show it from your phone.
Oh God, what is this?
I think it'd be funnier.
Okay. Well, yeah. Now, people, this is what this was a Tyler Baker rendition of what I thought Joe Amato looked like in person. So, Joe, am I at all close?
What a dick bag. Yeah, that's pretty spot on. Yeah.
I mean, is that how much hair you have hiding behind your hood there?
It's close. It's close.
Is one of your eyes, messed up like this gentleman here is in this picture?
It is. There you go. All right.
Wow.
All right. I like that.
Isn't it pretty?
It's pretty. He's a purry guy right there. Got a pretty mouth too.
Well, I mean, I can say this. I know why all those Hot Topic girls are falling over themselves to fornicate with.
Fornicate, fellatio.
Yeah.
The Rotten
You see the lips and they're ready to go. That's it. It's like,
Joe comes over like Cheech Marin and Fatal Beauty. Come on, give me a kiss. Like he presses his lips out with his tongue sticking out. It's just like there's moist as a snack cake down there. The minute Joe just pouts his lips.
Tyler, I didn't tell you this. Maybe I could. I don't know if I would play the right portion of it, but he was talking about his lips. Right, because he's always like, my lips are really big. I'm like, Joe, they're really not. And even Emily was like,
Lord, here we go.
Even Emily was like, Joe's lips are fine, and because Emily's like, I got the same kind of just like lips. So I tell Joe that, and he was like, yeah, Emily does kind of have big lips like me, and I was like, it's just the way he was
Well,
really pervy.
Well,
you know how Joey is.
Well, this is what I said. I said, okay, I'm not saying they're gigantic. I said, but they're full. I was like, and you said Emily has the similar lips. I was like, well, she does have some, nice, juicy lips. I was like, but I'm not saying
that was your direct quote, juicy lips.
If I can,
Joe,
let's see if I can find the one to play it.
That's why the girl doesn't show up on YouTube anymore, because people are always making remarks and comments to her.
But I said that, but I was saying it was nicely. That's what I was like, well, she does. She has a nice set of Jesus Christ. Make sure you play the right one. Don't play something wrong.
Nice set of jugs.
Just make sure you play the right one, Nathan, and don't play anything else. First, listen it to it
off. So Joe had to say this through voice.
Make sure he gets.
She is kind of just a full set of lips, and now it sounds like I'm fucking creeping on Emily's lips. Jesus Christ! Neither you or I can win in this fucking conversation.
No, there was another part to that.
Was it before that?
You have to listen to it before you play it.
All right, let me take my headphones out so I can put it on a low volume.
But I was not. That's what I said. I was like, I'm not creeping on her or being creeper.
Well, now we just had to refer to Emily as juicy on the podcast.
I did. There is a part. That's why I wanted to play that part, because I did mention. I thought I mentioned about her. Jesus Christ, where's this podcast going? It goes off the rails and down the toilet more and more each time. He's still looking, because there was a couple I sent to him. I sent maybe about 3 or 4, because I was trying to explain that I'm not being weird. This isn't perverted.
After you said it, I'm not weird. You can't tell me I'm weird. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just the most common stuff you say to your cashiers at your local Kroger and your Dollar Tree and your Popeyes and wherever else you may wander around out in public to expose yourself.
Let's see. Wait, here. Okay. Is this it? All right.
Oh man. I gotta get it to go. All right.
People are waiting here, Nathan. Okay. They're waiting for content.
Here we go. Now you guys listen, and all the people in the chat. This is all respectable. Listen.
Without sounding weird or something. No, it's not. She ain't got fat lips or big old lips. She's got a juicy set of lips. Does that sound perverted, or does that sound like you understand what I mean? She's got a nice, juicy set of full. Fuck, I can't say. You know what I mean?
God, he kept going
just saying,
with it.
I've seen her face. I've seen your face.
What do you think about your face, Nathan?
Or perverted. It's just So Emily and I probably have some. Fuck it, I'm done. I can't say it.
Pervert.
God, now that I hear it back saying a juicy set of lips, holy shit! I probably shouldn't.
If Joe says this about women on the internet, what does he say to women that he comes across? Like his mail lady, or
this is his
a lady he goes to church
what the hell? I said that with respect. I know that's his girlfriend. I was not trying to. I was just trying to say, oh, for fuck's sake.
Imagine Joe out in public takes a stick and lifts up women's dress like Beetlejuice, when he did that to Georgina Davis, Yeah. So that's Joe.
Christ.
And they can't understand what?
Hey Grim, yes, he called me a perv. Oh God.
Big perv.
I didn't know he was in there.
Oh shit! You want to get into the topic before I lose it? Oh,
yeah. Let's move off of juicy lips and.
You don't want to talk about Joker lips there, Joe, or anything like that? Which, if you guys don't know what Joker lips, watch an episode of South Park.
Oh, Christ. All right.
See, when you say Joker lips, I'm thinking Nicholson, 89 Joker.
No, that's what Bud is referred to as his first time seeing a pussy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Well,
thank
you for joining the Masters Universe podcast.
Yeah.
Tyler, you start off.
It's funny because right now we have more people here watching the show than we have the last few weeks, and I think it's funny. It's probably a lot of people jumping back in. It's like, oh, haven't watched them in a while. Let's see what they're up to these days, and probably
JSP just said, Joe, you should write down what you're going to say, read said comment, then completely forget about saying the said comment. It's
I would agree with that.
Joe refuses to type anymore. He has to verbalize everything.
That's
we
true.
Don't get anything that's just short and succinct and to the point. Joe needs to think out loud while he's puffing on his bubble pipe, with his smoking jacket and shit, and just expects to sit through 4 to 5. I'm like, Rebecca, Nathan, John, you guys can listen to this. I'm gonna go take a shit. let me know what you hear when I come back.
Oh my
Because
God.
I'm just not going to sit through.
But the thing is too, JSP. Even if he wrote it down, when he goes to read it, he's not going to read it to himself. He's going to read it aloud because he can't help himself. So he's still just going to verbalize it. So it wouldn't do us any good.
Oh,
No
shit.
good at all. Let me go ahead and switch
And
it over.
we've already made fun of him for doing it. He still does it. So
That's true.
Joe's pretty much just saying, "Fuck you guys. I like hearing myself talk. People love to hear me talk." I mean, that's this perception of himself, which is why he's constantly going live in our Facebook group all the time. People love to hear him talk and watch him eat stuff.
I get kind of excited watching myself eat too. It's like that's what I look like.
That's weird.
Gets me excited.
Joe watches it with his big ball of lotion.
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
Oh man, I remember what that tasted like. Oh.
Oh Christ. Well, Tyler, you start off with your puzzle, the one you chose, and
I have all three of the puzzles up here on the screen. So in case you kind of take another shot. In case you kind of didn't get the gist from the title of this episode, we each chose 3 puzzles, and we're gonna build a story around this scene. And there you go.
Yeah,
Tyler,
pretty much what we do with various other things. You know.
Obviously, you guys, this will be on the left side of your screens at home. This is the unreleased. This was supposed to be a puzzle. Joe found the black and white image, colored it, put it on the shirt. When did we wear that? Was that last week or the week before? It was a week before. So
week before. Yeah,
2 weeks ago we got that on the shirt. So we got this image. The one here in the middle, right beside of me, is the one that Tyler chose, and then the one here underneath the 3 of us is the one that I chose. So Tyler, we'll start with the middle one first.
I actually came up with a more complete story with the one Nathan did by accident. I was just noodling about it. I'm like, God, I thought that one was more through than anything else. But all these puzzles, it was really hard to get it narrowed down because all these puzzles over the years, like for me, like sneak attack, sword in the mountain, or stone, or fuck, the one where He-Man's got the power switch stuck in a mountain, like that one. Skeletor's dragon. I mean, there's the attack on Castle Grayskull with Triclops up on the parapet firing the laser down at He-Man. Like there's so many good ones. It really is just like I just pick one.
Yeah, we avoided the giant one because that's Armageddon. All that stuff that's going on.
I kind of feel like that one's not as succinct or as simplistic. I think the more simpler ones are the more fun to build off of.
Yeah, to wonder how they got there, what led them there, and exactly.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll have more to say on the Cobra Khan puzzle, but this one I really like the idea of He-Man confronting Skeletor on a mountaintop, but Skeletor's got the power sword. And my idea was that Skeletor comes into possession of the power sword. Like I'm not doing the whole like 2 halves of the power sword. This is the power sword, like the end all be all. And Triclops helped him assist in getting it. He-Man tracks him down to this mountain, and of course Man-at-Arms is following along behind, but shows up a little late to it. But He-Man defeats Triclops, and Skeletor standing victorious on this mountain, just kind of bragging about, I have the power sword. So while Triclops is getting stuff together, Man-at-Arms shows up, they battle, and as He-Man confronts Skeletor, is like, all right, you want the power sword? Beat me. Just flat out challenges, like doesn't try to avoid conflict. This guy's at a mountaintop, this guy's claiming he's got the most ultimate power in the universe, and just challenges Skeletor right there on the spot. Like doesn't try to avoid conflict or fighting, or says just return it. She was like, all right, take it from me, beat me, right there on the mountaintop. And then He-Man just bests him to the point where backs him to the edge of the cliff. Skeletor would inevitably fall off the cliff, and that's when Triclops swoops down,
swoops it there,
then catches him last minute as Man-at-Arms is chasing him off. The power sword is dropped down below. He-Man recovers it. It's not as more thought out. It was more based on that one moment of He-Man actually like, you know what? You want it so bad, take it from me. And that's what I essentially just kind of based on. It's like I said, I had more thought out with the other one than this one. But I just like the idea of He-Man like no, we're not doing this. If you want it so bad, take it from me. And I just like that idea of like one time He-Man's not going to try and talk Skeletor out of this. Like, enough of this shit. You want to be the badass, prove it.
Hey, you know what's great about it? You know, like this one that you chose is, I mean, R.L. Allen, the art he did was always that painted kind of really realistic, just it's a gritty style. It always had you wondering, man, what if there was a mini comic? All of his art, what that could have been like. Because it looks so serious and intense just from that one little image that they showed. It's like, God damn, what could have been, you know?
He did nothing. All of his were ass kickers. Like, there wasn't a single bad puzzle he did. I mean, the sea monster with Merman, and
that one's cool.
I mean, that's a beautiful one. The sneak attack, which is one of my personal favorites. I've often wondered: is that Castle Grayskull? Is it Snake Mountain? Is it a castle onto itself? Like I love the spiral staircase, the concrete brick staircase, which I've always wanted to see more illustrations done, like with either by Axel or Kevin, to illustrate a battle going on a staircase where you got bad guys coming on both sides. The heroes are caught in the middle. You got to fight your way from both sides to get out of Grayskull, Snake Mountain, wherever it is. I just like that concept of like, that's what was so good about a lot of these images. Same with Conan, and what makes a great comic book cover too is the peril that is depicted in a lot of these puzzles and other various illustrations. You like to see the heroes in intense danger, like how are they going to get out of this? And that's the fun of it. It's just it's brain tingling. You know, it just makes you wonder about how they got there, how they're going to get out of it. It's what damage is going to be done. Like and that's what makes this podcast so much fun, is that we thrive on these what if scenarios that I always say the powers that be don't seem to give a fuck about, or certainly don't have the brain capacity to come up with anything insightful or intellectual about it. So we got to rely on ourselves here.
And what's cool, another thing about the puzzles, you know, the ones you chose and some of those big framed ones, was on the back there was a completely different image, and some of them were just calmed, relaxed ones of He-Man in just a striking pose, or him with Teela in a pose. There were ones that a lot of people never paid attention to because they usually just focus on the fronts, and some people never scanned the back. I remember I showed James Eatock a couple. He's like, where the hell are these images from? He never even seen them. I was like, actually, the back of the puzzle. He's like, the back of the puzzle? Isn't that bizarre? I mean, Fred Krillo did a couple on his too, but yeah, there was shit. I should have brought him upstairs. I had him downstairs of the ones where you turn them around and it's just a completely different scene. It's not like they rehashed the same front to the back like you'd get with a coloring book, you know, on those.
Well, even some of the ones he did for the coloring book covers too, like the one of like He-Man and Teela riding on Battle Cat. I think there was another one of just was it Teela?
There's ones with there's ones with, I think, Attack Track. There's ones with, I think, Battle Ram. There was
the one with Faker outside of Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, that was, I scanned a good one of that, remember, and I cleaned it up. And what I did was, since the front has the Masters of the Universe logo and all the shit on it, when you turn on the back, they have UPC and other things, I scanned both images, removed stuff, and made one clean piece of art of that. That's really
So why did you put that on TeePublic?
I don't know, maybe I'll do it. Hey, you know what? That would actually be cool to do to TeePublic, to then do as a poster, print as a poster even, because that's just a badass piece. Or if you want on a shirt, but that's the only way you can probably get shit like that, real high quality. They have big throws too, big posters. There's a lot of awesome ways to get that shit. But yeah, I'll share some more.
Joe's not doing any of it. You see what Joe has, this amazing talent. He's sitting on all this stuff that he could put out there for public consumption.
All for himself.
Yeah, he wants to just keep it all for himself.
Well, no, I share it. I've shared it on Facebook
selfish.
and everywhere for people to look.
Obviously, we can't all own that piece of artwork or memorabilia, so you just scan it so we can either wear it, depict it, display it, or wrap ourselves up in a nice big blankie or something like that.
Hell, the artist. You remember the one cover? It was one that a lot of people didn't know the artist for. Larry Elmore, who done a lot of Dungeons and Dragons type art. He did one particular coloring book cover with He-Man and that dragon.
Yes, and, I have that one.
Yep, so I scanned front, back, and again, removed all logos, digitally did some stuff, Photoshop to make one whole piece, and he was like, I'd love if you could send me a full res, a high res of that to my email. He's like, I don't have that piece anymore, so I sent that off to him, so he was able to see a piece of his art that he has not had in years, so that was kind of cool.
I love you're like, Well, I'm not sending you the fucking original. You can go to hell, but I'll send you a copy of it in your email.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, well, remember, he wanted just the image clean. You know, he's seen the coloring book with all the images, but with me repairing stuff and fixing, gave him a clean image.
Still have that?
It was super hybrid. Yeah.
Can you put that on TV there for us, Joe?
Well, I mean, it's like things
I'm hungry for new stuff to wear. Do you understand that, Joe?
Well, I mean,
Like,
but
I
that's,
went on
it's
TeePublic
art.
today, and I'm like, oh my god, there are nothing but people who draw like John McDonald. You know, they're not, all over TeePublic. They cannot fucking draw anything. Thundercats, Marvel, DC, He-Man, Transformers. It's just like if I don't go to the same people I bought from before, I'm not going to be able to buy new armor to put on for the podcast. And Joe, that is where you come in.
Well, disclaimer for me, real quick. See,
I mean, do I need to like sit outside your house with like a cup, spare any new designs?
Listen,
Anything,
hold on.
please?
I got to do a disclaimer for me. Now, when I'm putting my one images up, like the one you see here on the screen of that piece for Fred Krillo that was never released, I redrew the whole thing and added stuff and effects. So I did that, put it up, bam, so slightly altered. But the ones that I'm talking about, I'm literally taking those images, and yes, I'm cleaning them up, but it's like not anything I drew. And that's Larry Elmore's. I don't want to like copyright infringe on some weird shit. If I did, it'd be like, I put it up for 1 week and then get it off. And just to disclaim myself again, I do not get rich off this. If Tyler bought one shirt, I get $2 and that's it. So I'm not rich, and then the image would be gone.
Joe, we're not here for your morals here. We're here to talk about He-Man.
I am. I won't get copyright stricken. They sue my ass for nothing. It's like I don't have
Nah.
nothing.
But if you put it up, all right, but if you put it up for a week though,
yeah, I could put it up for a couple days. Maybe I'll try to do that, and then that's it.
I think we should. I think we should. Well, that could be a thing. We make that planned out to where after we're done with the show, you drop a design on there, and it'll only be available for a couple days.
till the next episode.
Or a
Like,
couple,
if you
or
haven't
a couple,
ordered by
or a
the
couple
next-
days. So,
All right, yeah, a couple days. Too,
yeah, just to
fine.
make it go. You better get now. It's limited edition. I don't know.
Because I mean, there are people that will just swipe an image off Google, put it up, and they just keep it up there. Forever.
I know. People
have
have done it. They've done it with Marvel and DC characters.
Yeah.
And they crack down on some of it, but there's some people who get away with putting up. They really just pulled it off Google, put it up there, and didn't matter who it belonged
Like
to.
I wouldn't want to do, because I don't like doing those, and I ain't doing it to get rich. I would like one for myself, just because it'd be a cool image to have.
But that's all I ever push this for. Is that I wish we were getting clothing that we had back in the 80s, where they're putting beautiful artwork on pajama tops, T-shirts, and tank tops and sweaters.
And underwear.
Mattel ain't doing that right now because they're fucking stupid. And 80s tees don't put anything intelligent with He-Man stuff on. They do okay stuff, but they want $40 for a damn T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's
much?
fucking
How much
ridiculous.
Yeah,
$40
like
for
$40
fucking salt. $40 for like
40?
if you wanted the card blast art of a GI Joe character, you got to pay $40, not including shipping for that.
Yeah.
And that's not just for GI Joe. That's for a lot of their shirts, because I actually looked up some of their designs about a month ago just to see what they've upgraded to, and some of them are pretty nice, but like $40 for some of that stuff. $40.
I've never even spent $40 on a dress shirt, let alone a T-shirt.
I don't think
Jeez.
Joe's ever spent $40 at one
anywhere.
place.
Yeah.
Period. That's $40.
At least not since he was a child.
Yeah, that is true. Cause
Yeah, we know Joe's famous KB Toy Store story of having $50 and buying the entire 80s wave. But
that was great.
Since that day, Joe has never spent that much money at once anywhere for anyone or anything.
yeah,
Oh God, I am cheap.
Joe
Well,
has managed to
speaking of
haggle his way, or I'm sure most people are like, Joe, look, I don't have any change. Leave me alone. It's just that's what people just assume when they see Joe walking around.
Or
Like,
that moment that Al had in Married with Children. Remember, he won that car and he was looking through the glass window, and that bum who was collecting money, he seen Al, and then he took $1 and gave it to Al. Al put it in his pocket. That's me. A bum would give me money. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. Nathan, go ahead. Do your puzzle.
Well, so I'm gonna read off to what I had sent to Tyler, and I apologize to everybody at home. This week was kind of with work and some other stuff that I won't really get into. It's been a weird week, and the next couple days probably won't be too fun either. But what I had sent to Tyler, I'll just read this part too, because my plan was to take this and actually kind of write out a story, nothing too long. Like Joe was telling me last night, sort of in the vein of like a mini comic, sort of scripting it out, but having actual dialogue of what people were saying and everything. But work was just so shitty, and it was basically I would come home and eat dinner, maybe watch one thing on YouTube on the couch, and I would fall asleep, and then I would just wake up on the couch and then go to bed and then go to work. So that was like my entire week. So I was like, damn it, I wanted more time to do that. But luckily, Tyler's going to be here because I kind of threw this out here, and Tyler's, all the gears started running his head. But here's what I sent to him. I had an idea of Malaktha and the Mirror Avatar, which would kind of lead him to maybe another treasure that would get him captured and would lead to ultimately this battle that you see with this puzzle. It got me thinking, since Fisto's there at the top, which some people were asking who's fighting Skeletor at the top of that, it is Fisto. It got me thinking about Fisto's forest and how initially he's a villain and he kind of turns the corner. So with him being a new member and kind of having to prove himself to He-Man, he wants to join He-Man to help go find Malaktha, figure out what's going on. In my head, I'm like, well, what's he looking for? I'm not so sure. I didn't get that far into it. How would He-Man even know that something had happened to him? I didn't really think that through as much either, but I just kind of had this base idea that I guess would almost not, it would kind of extend past mini comic territory and almost feel like an episode of Filmation to me, I guess. But that was kind of what I had. Here's let's see. Initially, Fisto was a bad guy, and even though that episode sucked, because he got trapped by that log, but with that and how he needs to prove himself to He-Man, prove himself to be a master of the universe, and I'm like, is that stupid? And Tyler's like, no, it's not stupid, and I don't know if he was being nice. He may not have been. But then, what else did I have? There was some other thing that I sent you to. Here it is. Maybe I was kind of thinking something in the vein of Ghostbusters 2, where maybe the mirror almost puts Malaktha in a trance that kind of screws him over. It kind of takes him over and leads him there to get trapped, or there's something involved there. So that's basically about as far as I got. So I apologize that it's not as well thought out as I wanted it to be.
Still intriguing. I mean, like I said, you had a premise.
It would have been great, Joe, if you would have just been like, that sucked. That would have been great.
No, I mean, you put thought in it. You didn't just say, well, He-Man, he had to go save somebody, so he was crossing a bridge, and Cobra Khan was there, and, and there's Skeletor. You didn't do that stupid shit. You're actually having a fucking plot there.
Yeah.
More than can be said for the shit that we're seeing nowadays, so I fucking applaud you for that.
Right.
You didn't finish it, but you had stuff going on, but
yeah.
I like where it was going, and we could see Tyler, he said he was having thoughts on it, and we could see how he would progress it or what he had in mind, too.
Yeah, it wasn't my intention. Because I was kind of bummed. Like I hadn't really thought mine throughout that much. And I when I started thinking about what Nathan sent me, I thought, wait, there's something to really be played with here. And looking at it, I thought, why not just revamp the whole episode of Fisto's Forest and just call this new story Fisto's Forest, and really make it about the introduction of Fisto and Cobra Khan as characters into the mythology, and that it starts out with, Fisto is a recluse. No one knows who this guy is. He lives in a forest and essentially is the one that kind of keeps protection over his immediate surroundings. He kind of lives in like a brick or a rock cabin in the woods. He's a recluse, keeps to himself, takes care of anything that's around him, and is pretty much shut out from the outside world. Like that's how vast a turn he is. And I would set it up too that he's probably friends with Mossman to a certain degree too. But the story sets up with Skeletor is on the Roton and starts, before he goes on a destruction, also sets up Cobra Khan as this brand new evil warrior that has had many successful missions for Skeletor. And all he can talk about is, I want a shot at He-Man, Skeletor. Like, I'm the best you've ever hired. I have not failed on any of my missions. Give me a shot at He-Man. That's all I'm asking for. I don't want money. You give me the opportunity to take out He-Man. I want the right and the honor, saying I'm the one that destroyed He-Man. So you're building up like the confrontation there. So this new mission goes on where Skeletor takes out the Roton and decides he's going to level this forest to get to this particular cave beneath the waterfall. Fuck, that doesn't make too much sense. Fuck it. Anyway.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. But it's Fisto's forest. So when he finds out that Skeletor's been destroying his forest to get to a particular landscape, I need to rethink that part there. But he finds out about it. He-Man finds out the forest is being destroyed by Skeletor. So he goes off. He runs into Fisto. Fisto's like, oh, look, I don't want your help. I don't know who you are. You know, I've heard of this He-Man thing, but frankly, I'm not impressed. This is my domain. This is my forest. I'm taking care of Skeletor permanently. You know, personally. And He-Man's like, you know, you don't know who this guy is. Look, I'm telling you, I've been fighting this guy for a long time. You know, you need help. Let's do this together. Fisto's like, no, I don't want your help. So Fisto goes to the waterfall to confront Skeletor. And Cobra Khan's waiting, you know, to ambush He-Man. He eventually shows up. And they confront each other on the log there. And they go at it for a while. You know, and eventually defeats Cobra Khan. Fisto's on top, holding his own against Skeletor, but Skeletor eventually puts him down. And He-Man comes in there and saves the day. And they run off Skeletor and Cobra Khan. And Fisto's like, you know, look, I appreciate that. I was just trying to defend my home. I wasn't aware of such evils out there. And you know what? I need friends. I need allies to not only protect my home, but protect this planet as well. So He-Man, count me in as one of the heroic warriors. So that was kind of what I was building towards just off that.
Good. Yeah, I appreciate you taking. Oh, well, I'm glad what I said just kind of triggered something else in you to make you start thinking. Oh, yeah, I like that idea. I think I was just kind of on this high of Malactha a lot the last few
still
weeks.
like the thought of that.
And that's awesome. I hope he continues to resonate with you.
Yeah. And how cool would that have been to have a comic with Malactha in it as well, and to see a little more about the ancient mirror avatar that we got zero out of once they got it. It's like, hey, we took it back, but that was it. So that could have been interesting
there's
to
just
see something.
So much about that character because he's got those qualities and characteristics that, like, he's a treasure hunter almost, but he's really smart as like a scientist-esque kind of way. Like, he just wants new discoveries, and he's intrigued by all these various things on Eternia. So that's what it really got me thinking of, just trying to set it up to where it kind of, his idea of thinking just kind of really backfires on him and puts him in a lot of danger. He really should be
like the He-Man's version of Indiana Jones. Is what he really should be. That's the way.
That's why I was thinking
Stanley
too.
Could be like Short Round almost, like, you know, an eager kind of firecracker of a character there. But I felt like there's so much fun to be had with the Malactha. And you could actually tell your own stories with Malactha, and not even involve He-Man.
Yeah. But
that could involve various kind of lower level characters in the mythology that are not necessarily evil warriors.
I mean, just picture
I'm
that.
I'm not going to say they said that Webster could beat Malactha.
Yeah.
I mean, Malactha could beat Webster in the fight. Like,
but it would be cool that there's a scenario where he would pop in to a story and just kind of... That's why I think it would be so fun to just have a comic book that would just be the Tales of Eternia.
Yeah.
Here's a Clamp Champ story. Here's a Fisto story, you know, and even swing the other way. Here's a Triclops story. Like, just take individual things, and it doesn't have to have He-Man or Skeletor or like a central, just something fun.
That's
that's
the vastness of this. I mean, hell, how many episodes is this now? I mean, we're still finding ways to talk about things we've never really talked about.
300 is it 314, Joe?
14.
Yeah.
314 episodes. We have repeated ourselves a couple of times, but I like to think we brought something new to the table. But it's a testament to how vast this mythology is, and the people that make all these decisions for He-Man clearly don't get it. And I know I keep harping on that, but I just want people who listen to this podcast to know that there's so much more that can be done. That it's a humongous sandbox to play in, and I know DC and Marvel can oversaturate the market with way too many books of a certain character.
Yeah.
But this in itself, you could have a lot of self-contained books, and even like Nathan said too, one particular book that's devoted to, more lower tier characters, but still be going on. And while this is going on, Malactha is doing this, and in the midst of She-Demon and Phantos or something like that, you could really build up all these characters and just constantly just crossing them over, because that's what I love about reading a lot of old Marvel books, and DC does the same thing. But when you see characters are constantly making references to this issue, and this character's doing this, well, he's not here, because he's off doing this in a previous issue, or this character just got his ass kicked because of what happened here. Just all this constant crossing over stuff. And I like to see, books with the villains win. Like if you were to do a book on Triclops wins whatever adventure he's on for Skeletor, he wins.
Yeah.
Like constantly evil win.
Because you need to build those guys up to have them eventually put over your heroes, right? You gotta stack them up to where they seem like they really got a shot.
Threats.
Yeah.
That you see Clawful could, snap people in two, like break their necks because of how aggressive and vicious he is. Or that Jitsu is someone you do not fuck around with. And speaking of Jitsu.
All right. Yeah.
All right. And that's something too. That's something we could probably discuss on the future podcast too. Is the possibilities of a new He-Man comic book, because just doing one flagship book is nowhere near enough.
I remember us. I don't know how long ago it's been, but I do remember us talking about that. How we would have our mainline He-Man centric story, and how we would have other offset books where it's like here's the team up with Rio Blast and Clamp Champ, and they just have their own set of adventures that they go on. But even then, to me, I like that idea of stories from Eternia, and each issue is just a different character doing a different thing.
You could explore Negator in one issue. You could explore Mask in his search to rise up the House of Darkness that leads up to him meeting Trapjaw.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Not that it's a prequel story, not that you need to do that, but it'd be fun to just see what these characters are doing, what led them to a certain point, or just a solo adventure that seems depicted as like why you should fear this character, or why this character is so heroic.
Exactly.
Tales of Trala. You could really expand upon things going on in that world, because we clearly didn't get nowhere near it off. You got She-Ra, Princess of Power. You got stories going on in the Horde.
Yep.
There's just so much stuff that you could have so many writers going on at the same time. So many great artists being used on all these books.
Yeah.
Everyone would get an opportunity to draw some great characters, because every book would have a smorgasbord of characters. Joe, you okay?
Yeah, everything's good. Yep.
Okay.
And then they could hire Tyler, and Tyler could be like, "Oh man, I'm really excited to work on this." And they're like, "All right, Tyler, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this backstory on Crackers the Clown. We're putting you in charge of it. It's gonna be amazing. I believe in you." And then
By the way, my name's Rob David, and fuck off. I hate you for everything you ever said on that pissant podcast of yours that only gets just a few views a week. Well, you sure know a whole lot about it there,
Tyler. Hypothetically, what if, let's say they asked you, they would like you to do some stories. What if the first story was they did stick you on some shit like Crackers the Clown? Would you try to do them justice, or say, "Fuck, I can't do this"? Honestly,
you know what? Look, it's if I knew for a fact it was like they're testing me to say, like, look, if we give this guy a shit job, is he going to give us the bit? Because I know a lot of great talent that's worked in entertainment had to work their way up, and they do it in the wrestling business too. You put a guy out there, squash him. See how his demeanor is. Can this guy lose matches and not take it personally? I feel like they do a lot of testing. If for some reason I was told to make a Crackers the Clown story, first off I would say, all right, what do you want me to do with it? Like I'm just not going to just like, okay, I'll walk away now and where's your nearest highest window? Because I'm going to jump at it right now. I would ask the parameters, and if it was meant to be a test, because I like to think that they seriously were not considering doing a legitimate Crackers the Clown. Hey, look, we got the rights. One of our key issues we're going to be putting out there with multiple bullshit covers is a Crackers the Clown story, and we want you to pin it. So if it was like they're just testing me, then yes, I would try to put together. I would have to go through it. You know what? I don't know if I could sit through. Fuck it. Yeah.
He's like, oh shit.
It just shows you that, look, I really want to work on He-Man so bad I can't stand it. If all I'm doing is just submitting children's stories or something like that, I want to be able to say one day I left my mark on He-Man, or if I just contributed an idea I'd give anything to write for He-Man. I truly would. And if I had to get my foot in the door by writing a Clackers the Clown story, I would do it.
Okay.
Yeah. What a long-winded answer. Boy, I'm such a gas bag, aren't I?
All right. Well,
Joe, I don't know what that means.
Yes.
It could be like I mean, Tyler, you could always go that dark route and just make it like a Joaquin Phoenix Joker-esque kind of backstory.
Yeah, he's dancing around, or he's constantly telling people why he's so serious, and cutting Michael J. White in the mouth. Well, we don't even know what.
No. I was talking about the Joaquin Phoenix one.
I know, but I'm jumping from that one to the Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Well, speaking of being all over the place, let me get to my story.
Speaking of long-winded, Joe, you go ahead and talk about your puzzle.
No, like I said, I'll just try to keep it quick and efficient. But this one, I mean, as we know,
you saved yours for last on purpose, didn't you, Joe?
Well, I think it's best.
I
think it's best to save it because Joe put a lot of work into this.
I did. You guys, and I tell you, you guys can't appreciate the quality of that unless you get it on a T-shirt or a print. You gotta see this shit up close. All the little nice.
Here, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, I ain't getting rid of that one. Yeah, there's so much goddamn
bigger.
details and highlights. Yeah, make that some bitch bigger. Cover me up. Just put that over the front of the screen.
I can move all this shit around and keep us on the screen, Joe.
Yeah, so what I did was I wanted to give it that feel of some. Now, as you know, with some of the Fred Carrillo pieces that were drawn, some were just completely all one solid color for everything. Others had these kind of just different types of highlights and things, and that's what I did within the grass on their bodies. You can't see it as much. I mean, there you can see it a little bit, but once you zoom in and once you get that thing and have it full glory, you can see it. But yeah, I did a lot of redrawing on that.
Once you spread it and get it all in full glory.
Everything. Added new details. I brought this thing to life because, like I said, this was an image I was looking at that, remember, was on eBay if I was going to get, and it was all slightly off to a side, so I had to make this straight. This has all been redrawn to look like it could have actually, been a puzzle. So, okay, that's it. I ain't going to talk about a story. No, here goes the story. So as for a story, I mean, you see what's happening. Just look at the image there. He-Man's jumping this tree that obviously Jitsu chopped down. That's why I call it the ambush. I thought it would have been a perfect story. Skeletor, as you know, all these times he's trying to defeat He-Man, can't do it, is trying to get new warriors. I feel like this would have been the introduction of Jitsu and He-Man in this particular story from this image. I thought it could have been really badass. He's tired of failing. He finds Jitsu. This is a new warrior. He promises absolute or great power with like him to join. He's like, if you do this, I'm going to give you so much power you could be right next to me. You can rule side by side with me. Of course, Jitsu wanted to try to impress, like, I'll do this for you, and they put up an ambush. He-Man thinks he might be going, like, let's say to a village to stop Skeletor from doing something, but he doesn't know there's going to be Jitsu. So as I can see him charging in the forest, that's all I keep to envision in my head. He sees Skeletor and Panther, and he's on Battle Cat coming towards, and then suddenly this tree just comes down, and then you see the leap as they're doing right there, and he stops, and when he looks to the side, that's when he sees Jitsu, his new foe, and they ensue with this just epic, badass battle that, in my mind, I was like, holy fuck, if Larry Houston, you know what he's done with Clash of Arms, to see this ensue with a battle between them, I could just imagine the power behind every image that he would draw out. And of course, Skeletor has his opportune time to maybe even blast He-Man to get him down, to think he's stunned that he could, I finally have defeated He-Man. Of course, we know He-Man comes back to then defeat Skeletor and Jitsu, but all I kept seeing from that image because of this tree was the leap, the look, and like, who the fuck is this? And Jitsu proceeds to really start kicking He-Man's ass, and they're going back and forth. Skeletor helps pull the edge over in both of their favors. He-Man eventually does get them both, but I think that'd be a badass way of Jitsu to be, introduced to the story.
How does he get them both, Joe? Now you got me intrigued. How does He-Man manage to win this battle?
The tree right there, I can only imagine with how he does picking up the tree to bam, fucking hit Jitsu probably into a tree to knock him out. And then, like always, just defeating Skeletor however he can do in any easy way. Skeletor grabs, he starts troweling off with Panther, grabs Jitsu, and they just fucking fly out of that forest.
See, I would want to see He-Man and Jitsu not only go hand in hand, but when Jitsu says, like, so you're a swordsman. Like, I want to see how good a swordsman you are. Like, I want to see a sword fight. I wanted to go from hand-to-hand sword fight.
Yeah, and that could have been interesting to add a sword element to it as well. I know that a battle would look cool as shit. It's just, I think that's what, like, again, that's why I call it the ambush, because He-Man was not expecting this. And I think that would have been the most perfect way to introduce Jitsu into that story. And yeah, and definitely that could have got use out of the sword, because I like to, as you always say, I shit on Jitsu and Fisto with their swords. That's just me being a dick, you know how that is. But
what you
that
do?
Cool.
When have you done that?
You remember with Fisto when I always made fun of his sword being like a weed whacker? Remember? I
just ignored that. Like, you really thought Fisto's sword?
I never liked this sword. I always hate his fucking sword. He doesn't even fucking use it. He's got a fist. That's all you need.
Joe,
so I'm a dickhead.
John McDonald. You know that?
That's right. Send me all the hate mail messages, everybody. But yeah, this would have been a great way. I would love to see a fleshed out mini comic of that, of what's in my head and adding to it. Holy fuck. I'd buy the hell out of that thing. But yeah, because
a story where Jitsu is essentially the sole focus and nobody else is involved in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I want to see that come to fruition too.
I could almost see a part where they are fighting with swords, and He-Man manages to get the sword away from Jitsu, and then he goes to take a swing at it, and that's when he puts his hand up like that, and when it hits it's stronger than the fucking sword, and he's like, it kind of takes him back a little bit, because maybe in this story, like, maybe He-Man and Fisto haven't met each other yet, so this would be like entirely new for him to kind of see that.
I mean, aspect. You could set this up as like the first time He-Man meets Jitsu, but then I feel like you need to have a sequel then, of setting up why Fisto and Jitsu do have a
history together,
an ongoing feud, a history together, which is more. I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're right. These are characters that needed more fucking, not only screen time, but comic book time, mini comic, everything. I mean, that's why we were so hungry. That's why when I first showed Tyler this image and talked about it, he's like, what the fuck is, we've never seen this before. Anytime we're seeing Jitsu in anything, it's like, yes, because we barely got him. He had the highlight, of course. I mean, well, not a highlight, but at least we had him in Clash of Arms, which was cool, and some other little showings here and there, but not enough to really showcase him. And this could have been a showcase, definitely, for Jitsu. We champion for these characters, the characters that people love so much, and then they just barely get any fucking acknowledgement at all,
Yeah, and I do feel like at least thankfully Jitsu is not looked down upon, and I hate to this day that I'm sure people at Mattel. It does make me wonder, like, what their perception of the character is, like, because he's Asian. Obviously they put him out. They weren't like, hey, we can't put him out because he's an Asian villain. But it does kind of make me wonder if people's perception is like they're afraid to push the character in any form of media for fear of thinking, oh, well, if we push it for an Asian villain, like, no, it's you're not giving kids and the public enough credit to think that, we're not saying all Asian people are villains or any of that silly ancient bullshit. Obviously, you've got some really racist motherfuckers out there, and you know what? Their fucking opinions don't count.
Right.
So, it's embracing, because me and Joe both, like, we saw this character as kids, like, I want to know more about this character. I don't see an Asian character. I just see this amazing-looking, tough guy, muscles, tan, and this unbelievable gold chopping hand with a samurai sword. How the fuck can you not want to know more about that? And it's just... it's a crime to this day. Like, thankfully Joe put up that Fisto versus Jitsu on TeePublic a while back. Joe has done this one. We need more. The world needs more Jitsu. Like, I can never tire of carrying that flag for that character. Like, if I swear, if we were ever given any say in a fantasy scenario of like, hey, we're doing a new He-Man show, we're revamping it, no bullshit, no agendas, no putting it on the, you guys, what are your inputs? I'd say your main villains for the show every week, like, let's scrap the usuals. Like, no more just Trapjaw, Evelyn, Beastman over and over again. You put Cobra Khan in that constant line. You put Jitsu in that constant line. You put Clawful in that lineup. Webstorm, give us a Scareglow. Mix it up. Let's just not go back to the same damn Beastman, Trapjaw, Evelyn, Merman. Those are great characters. They need to be there. But I want to see Skeletor at the council table more regularly with Jitsu and Cobra Khan, offering advice. So, hey, look, what do you got for us, boss? Like, where do you want us to go? All right, I'm done.
And add Clawful, because those are some of the most competent within the cartoon. They didn't, ham them up as being morons either.
No. And Clawful would be depicted as Sinistry is in Clash of Arms, like Jitsu and Clawful both. I'd love to see them in a tag team. Like, often when I have thoughts for illustrations, like I've always wanted to see the two of them together because of Clash of Arms. Like often see them because it is fun to see certain characters that you would see. You know, any of these guys are at Snake Mountain. They work for Skeletor, but you'd like to think there's some sort of sense of camaraderie. Like we always like Webster and Cobra Khan together because they work so well together. What few times we've seen them. So and me personally, I always like depicting those guys together on solo missions. Clawful and Jitsu, they're both right-handed warriors with like a unique right hand. I could just see them like, you know, they're cruel, they're calculating, and you do not fuck with them. Like I just love the idea that you know, Triclops I could see him, you know, having camaraderie with Jitsu because they're both swordsmen. You know, probably Triclops doesn't care for Blade because they both claim to be the best swordsman or something like that. You could set up feuds like that as well, like, well, I'm better than you. But I just like to think that it's fun to picture how these guys get along at Snake Mountain. Like they all, Skeletor's the boss. He's the big asshole, but he's the one running the show and he's paying us. But I mean, it's we see that with the good guys, but it'd be fun to, you know, look up here and say, hey, you know, Two Bads, you know, hanging out with Spikor.
It's such a shame. Those are the two that got to be the two dipshits in the fucking cart. Oh God, do I hate the way they talked in that cartoon or portrayed. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I it's how you would rank the failures in Filmation. Like I don't know, if Spikor would go above Two Bad, or Two Bad would go. It's almost like that. I think I find them to be the most offensive.
You know, I'm an almost just for me. Now I know Spikor was everywhere with sometimes fucking having to trident, no trident, different ways his hands was, and I am Spikor. But you know what? The way fucking Two Bad back and forth, and they talk, I fucking hated that. Two of the most evil, frightening sumbitches. They had to dumb them down more than anybody. I fucking hate that. So
they did make them very, very friendly looking. At least Spikor at times, like. Very, very, not much, but would look evil sometimes. Or
Two Bad was just a dork.
Two Bad, yeah, there was not a single solitary moment of animation in any episode Two Bad was in that made him look like a formidable foe. Not one time. At least in the episode Visitors from Earth, when Skeletor and Spikor greet I forgot what his name was, but the astronaut that lands in front of Snake Mountain. And he commands Spikor to capture him. Like Spikor just walks towards him with his trident hand, like, you know, like very imposing. Doesn't say anything. At least Spikor has that one moment where he at least looks like a competent villain. That's a brute. You don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah, and I think that's why we put Two Bad at the top as just being the worst of.
He would be. I can't argue that. He was by far the worst depicted of the evil warriors of all of them.
Fuck. So. Well, this, you know, like I said, that's why, again, I love doing this show, is we're doing things that I don't think anybody else, nobody else has done. That's why I corrected them. Yeah.
Nobody's been doing this.
Yeah. Nobody's ever done it. I mean, fuck, we've done everything. Like I said, we're doing the ranking system, doing the Kumite, taking puzzles and now making stories out of them, which, yes, we're going to be doing more of these. You know, we're going to spread it out because there's a good amount. I wish there would have been more, for fuck's sake. I wish there was more. And it's going to be the ones that are vintage. I'm not going to include the modern stuff where they literally just took Earl Norem or William George art from the past and now it's on a puzzle. No, we're talking about these unique pieces that we grew up with that obviously that's the only way you've seen them. Unless they were still on a coloring book, but you understand what I mean. So we're going to give stories to all of them. And it'd be great if we fucking get somebody to actually illustrate it, because all of us have, like I said, things in our head we'd love to see actually drawn out, mapped out, fleshed out. And I know, Nathan, like I said, you were like knocking your idea. We weren't knocking it at all. It was a great idea. No. I love more from Malaktha, and it would have been cool to see a story like that as well.
I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm messing with stuff on the screen here.
He's looking at porn.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm trying to find a decent way to. I'll probably just put that over top of me.
What's he trying to do? Is he getting juicy lips on the screen or
something?
No.
Well, I mean, what I'm gonna have to do is throw it to our sponsor here in a minute. I was just getting everything set up, you know.
I guess to let people know, I guess like next week we're planning on doing a Huntara commentary to kind of give people like an idea of like what we're in the coming weeks. So that'll be next week.
And it'll be back in the old format that we would do commentaries, and we're actually all going to watch the episode together while it's happening and comment on things while it's going on. So I'll make sure.
We'll try to tell Joe not to do as much coke beforehand so we can stay on topic there. So
there's a lot of references about me. I don't know. I must have been wired at one part saying something during the show, or like Joe is naturally high on life, and then somebody said something else. Fuck, I can't even find it.
Yeah, Joe doesn't need drugs. He is drugs.
Yeah,
that was it. That was a perfect comment. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there was another one before it too. Well, maybe there wasn't. Yeah.
All right, what's your sponsor? What do we got?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw this on the screen. It's not gonna take up the whole screen like it did last time, but I'll have it covering me. You want to get ripped? You want to get hard? Well, now you can with Tony Britt's Ripped 180, the hardest 3 minutes that will get you pumped.
Oh Christ!
I mean, look at Joe. Look at Joe's right arm. His left one's not big, but that right arm, he definitely got ripped.
That is years and years of practice, dedication. Yeah, I mean that's some hard dedication right there, and that sums it up. Yeah, well, one day I might try to go for the left. We'll see if we can even them out, but I don't know if we'll ever get to that. That right, that's some work in there.
I'm trying to figure out when I got leg tattoos. Is that leg tattoos on that guy?
Looks like you got leg tattoos and some kind of spandex or some shit. I'm sure, or knee
Oh
pads.
Wait, no, that's just like spandex. Like bottoms, it's just designs there. It almost looks like tattoos, but it's not. That's just some. I don't know what this one dude in the yellow shorts is trying to do. Draw your own conclusions with that one, I suppose.
Who's the nerd in the bottom left? Who's that dork?
Yeah, I don't know. Just some dork, I guess. Tyler, you didn't make this because you're already ripped. You didn't need this.
Yeah, I don't need any at-home workout stuff or whatever. That shit never works anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
So thank you to Tony Britt's Ripped 180 for sponsoring this episode of Fans Power.
Appreciate it. We're
just lining them up now, man. Like every week.
Yeah, every single week.
We got someone new.
We're just not getting paid for it. It's kind of odd.
Next week should be pretty good, too.
I think Joe's getting some of that under-the-table money. He's just not telling us
Yeah, he could be. Joe's the charity case, so...
I am. I accept it all.
Could you all feel like Joe is like some like cheap like evangelist, like telling people to place their hand on the screen,
without a doubt.
People, I want you to feel the power. I feel a lot of power in this room. He's like the farting preacher, but he's the farting bum, and it's just like constantly telling people, donate now to my charity, of dirty bums. Let's help clean up the bums of America. You could be like the homeless or Joe's dirty ass because he's not wipe himself properly. Yeah. But
and then
the dirty bum.
Randomly,
charity.
He's just like, if you have any Popeyes gift cards, make them to sit in here, and it's like a PO box.
Yeah.
Popeyes good, really good. I did want to thank 2 people out there because if you guys are
you're
part
welcome,
of the
Joe. It wasn't much, but I'm
anytime.
Anytime.
Oh, 2 other people, not you dipshits. So on Fans of Power Facebook group.
I take it all back. I'm taking it all back.
It's just the wishes and all that shit. Just mouth jumping in there, getting all that shit.
I swear to God, no one else. I can't believe Joe got that. When I'm taking it all back. I can't believe because I will push random quotes like that and no one knows I'm quoting anything. But son of a bitch, Joe got it there. Nathan, where were you on that one?
Where was I? I was at home.
He was at home.
Yeah, I love some fucking Goonies. But no, so 2 people, and I showed this on the Fans of Power Facebook group, not the page, the group. If you're not a member yet, go on Facebook, become a member. Rebecca and John, I did not expect them to do it, and Jesus Christ, it had me at a loss for words. I got choked up. I had to end that fucking video because they bought me, and I'm looking at it right now, but they bought me a new
Wait. You got rid of it?
Huh?
Did you delete the video?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you deleted it. I thought you said you deleted it. All right, sorry. I interrupted when you were telling everybody what it was. Go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, so they got me a new laptop. I did not expect anything like that. I thought they were because they heard about the power supply incident and all that shit that I was going through. I thought, they're going to send me some album. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, and I know they say they don't expect anything in return, but for somebody like me, I see this. I'm like, well, what can I do? How can I pay them back? It's like,
you give them a thermos.
Yeah. I can do my jerk thing. No.
Yeah, I picked out this thermos for you.
See, look, I get all these quotes. You know me. There's Tyler knows there's certain
Until the
movies
end of
that
the
I think I
show,
have
then he
stuff on.
won't know what it is.
Then I blank
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Friday the
Oh no,
13th.
because I
What's
got my
Friday
quote
the
lineup for
13th?
this week. Neither one of you guys will get it.
Yeah.
You know, even
Isn't
though
that so
both you guys have seen the movie.
I'm getting all these quotes. I'm an expert on this, or I know this, I know that, and then he'll mention Friday the 13th. I'm like, wait, what is that? What are you talking about? It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
And,
Yeah,
and
I have come close to doing. I'll have to do it again. I'll make another Friday the 13th reference.
Just that one
Derek
damn
Joe.
Shelley thing got me. I botched it. I
And
fucked up on Shelley's quote.
Papa Huds was saying that video had him choked up, and you know what, Joe? It kind of brought a little tear to my eye too, just to see you all like, speechless, and then you start kind of getting a little.
I'll have to watch it
Getting a
too
little
because I just assumed it was Joe eating something.
No,
Yeah,
you
like,
should.
I've seen him eat stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. Good, genuine emotion from Joe. You know, it's about time he finally appreciated something that somebody sent him.
Yeah.
Orko, hey, I got him over here. He
Yeah,
says he's crazy.
there he
Yeah,
But-
and the garbage pile with the rest of the free stuff people send Joe, and Joe's like, "What else you got?"
is. Yeah,
It's
not
tough
good
business.
enough.
This is great. I love it. If I could sell this for $5 and go to McDonald's.
You got a
But-
K
no,
key
seriously.
again, Joe. For the first time in 3 years, you can finally
That's
go
what I
to
was just gonna
K
say.
and touch it. It's there.
Yeah, because that key popped off about 3 years ago, and there was like a clip on it. It was broken. I remember I tried to glue it to make it work, and it was always crooked. It didn't work. I was like, well, fuck. So when I type, I'm always used to like that middle finger touching like a nub on the keyboard. I was like, this
He's
feels
talking about
weird.
his dick or his keyboard. He's all triggered in the nub.
Fuck off. So I was like, man, I can feel all the keys now. This is strange. So, but yeah, they got me, man. They really hit it here. I'm not. It's like I said, I can't repay that stuff, and I know they're not expecting
That's the whole
anything in
point,
return.
though,
But
Joe. Like, not
I
everything's
know
got to be. That defeats the purpose of doing a gift, man. It's just look at it this way, Joe. You're an extremely well loved and well liked person. You know what? That's a gift that just keeps on giving. So some people just want to give you a little thing to say thank you. So just look at it that way, there, Joe.
I know.
I
and
completely mumbled my words when I said it. I sound like a complete John McDonald there. I'm sorry.
Well, shit. But so there, I want to thank. And now for the chat and for Lord of or Sobek who joined us. I know you had questions earlier, but for anybody in the chat that has any questions from comics, cartoons, toys, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Make some
Anything.
good questions here, people. Come on, good, solid, meaty questions here, people.
Yeah, and we will answer
Calm me
as
down
many
now.
as we can.
Oh,
If somebody
shit.
asked, I think Felipe said, how can you tell he's crying because
Well,
I'm wearing a mask?
Here's how
Johnny.
you could tell in the video. So he has a voice break when he's saying laptop. He can't even finish the word. And you see him there, and he takes his scarf, he uncovers his nipple, he lifts his mask up a little bit, and you see him just kind of wiping his face. That's how I could tell that he teared up a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't talk for a second too, and I don't ever get choked up. And when I was talking, I think I stopped for 4 seconds. 'cause
Yeah, I
was
think that's the
trying to get
longest
the
amount
word
of time you've ever been on air and didn't say anything. So
pretty much. Oh shit! All
Because
right, let's.
steamroll everybody on this podcast. Even Rebecca's not safe. I mean,
That's
Joe
true.
yeah.
She's pretty violent at times. It's you'd
And
be
yet
surprised.
you still like to talk right over all the time. So I'm
I
just kind
do.
of curious.
I do.
Is that
Oh,
a habit that's going to continue if after you saw how violent she is?
Probably not. I mean, she yeah. So I mean, I'll stutter. She could get revenge. I don't know. Like, so not that I'm giving foreshadowing, but just keep your eyes out in a couple days, and I don't know. You'll see. There's a different side to Rebecca that. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever see that.
Joe's talking too much.
Well,
we
here we go.
won't say anything then. Joe just fucking says everything. All right.
Yeah,
well.
Joe's doing everything
What was
to say. I won't look for my secret presence in the closet right over there to my left. Here, I won't look in there. I mean, about the new thing that I got. Yeah, just Joe's just doing everything he
that's a
can
tease.
to like.
No, there.
It's just like an
But it
air
wasn't-
traffic controller. Like take your light sensor and point over this way to the thing over here. Just
It didn't give nothing away.
Captain
but-
Obvious over here.
Adam Cabert, Nathan, Tyler, Joe. Question: do you know if the artwork that was shown on tonight's podcast was done by painting or drawing with shading? I don't know if you mean by R.L. Allen, but I think if that's what you meant, yeah, his I think were all painted pieces.
All other stuff. Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were. I don't think they were oil-based paintings like Earl Norm did, but they were. I'm not sure. Deucen's more of an expert on like painting types and things like that. So If he's
Yeah,
still
if he
in the
was here,
chat room.
he'd jump right in. He was like,
Okay.
listen,
Oh,
you
I
get
guess
that,
what he
this is
get tired
fresh.
because didn't talk about it enough. We got to get him back on the podcast again at some point.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. Oliver Belmont, Joe, Tyler, Nathan, which among the vintage Masters of the Universe toy commercials were your favorite? He said,
There-
oh man, there's
There's
'cause he said,
actually
like, pick 4 if you could.
there's actually an episode that we did dedicated to such a thing. I can't
We've actually done 2 episodes devoted to the commercials. One with one before it's like before we had James E talk. That was like years ago when it was just me and Joe. After we got rid of Captain Dipshit.
Where was that? I'm looking for it now.
Yeah, it was like the episode. I think we discussed Whiplash and the commercials. I think, and no one gave a shit about it. It was like an episode right before Christmas, and nobody watched it. I guess they all hated us or something like that.
I noticed
But,
around like Christmas time, it seems like sometimes there's not a lot of views.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you people? You guys too busy for He-Man at Christmas time? What the fuck's your all's problem? But like, I love the Ninja Clamp Champ commercial. That's one of my favorite commercials that they've done.
The Attorney who plays that one was pretty cool.
The Attorney who plays that one is epic. I like the Cyclone one, and I mean, and there's one of Roboto that Peter Cullen does. You know, where it's like it has kind of like a ghost. It's like the Friday the 13th Part 3 theme playing with like Roboto. Like
I know the music.
Yeah, I always thought that was a really cool. But there's so many He-Man commercials out there that if you just do a random search, you won't find all of them. I mean, unfortunately, there's a couple of good people who put like together these long compilation videos. There's like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where I had to end up pulling from to get a lot of them to view them. Oliver, episode 262. That's the one where we top 5 vintage Master Universe commercials. So we kind of deep dive on that pretty well, I thought. It's been so long, and some of that shit I'm like Joe, I can't remember that stuff anymore.
But there's so many good ones. Hell, I go back and watch them for fun myself. I just sit down, like the Cyclone commercial. I'll watch the compilation. Some of the latter ones too, were the people who did the commercials put up like really elaborate like battlegrounds for the toys.
Yeah.
But they put smoke in there and rocks.
I like the one where they were introducing the Horde and just the Snake Man and all this.
Yeah. That was cool. The Modulock one is one of the most badass ones too.
Modulock.
And that music that plays, from Mattel. It sounds so badass. Like you're just like, oh god, I gotta buy this toy.
The Spydor ones are all right too.
Yeah, both Spydor ones, like the Master Power, power.
Yeah.
Those are great.
We're new from the Masters of the U. Yeah, I fucking love it.
Yeah, the Thunder Punch He-Man and new from the Master of the Universe. Naturally, got it.
Even a little preview of remember Stone Door and Rock-On coming, how they've landed.
Yeah,
and
the bumpers they did, Stone Door and Rock-On coming soon.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's awesome.
The bumper for the Horde was good too.
Yeah. When the Mattel Square opens up, coming soon, the Evil Horde, very soon. Like, so cool.
Those were the days, man. That gets you chills on that shit.
God, I mean, those are commercials that turn boys into men when you watch those commercials. Now everything is just castrated. All balls are being cut off left and right. They don't know how to make it look cool anymore for kids. That's why I play with my fucking phone here and play fucking games and candy shit and whatever.
Yeah, I think Tyler thinks that the only
mobile
mobile games that people play on their phones these days is still just Candy Crush, and that's it.
Yeah, that and Angry Birds.
No, man. It's evolved way past that now. Joe's like,
I know.
What is that? Because Joe.
Yeah. Is that a waste of candy?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll choke the shit out of them.
And I was like, Angry Birds. I shot me a bird the other day. I hit it with a rock.
Those little bastards keep bullying the squirrels. Piss me off. The squirrels around here like getting some nuts.
Joe's like the kind of kids outside with a BB gun shooting birds and shit.
Oh, I mean, I have to shoot away those little bastards because now they're coming back to the trees and in the neighborhood. So when the squirrels are up there trying to enjoy a couple nuts that I give them, because I actually do feed a couple of these squirrels, I feel bad for
your nuts?
Shut up.
Oh,
so anyways,
weird.
These birds come over and actually try to
Joe.
fly.
It puts like peanut butter on his nuts.
So I got to stand there and go, I got to guard the squirrels. What I do, I guard the squirrels to make sure that the birds don't steal their nuts.
It's like one of those candied apples with the walnuts on it. Jesus Christ.
And Joe's nuts are just as red as those apples from all the STDs he's picked up.
Listen, all right, Zentron had a question, but I don't know if I changed this. Zentron said, if you could give Swiftwind a new voice,
he starts
what
his
would
mornings.
he
Just wakes up. Well,
Yeah, come and get it, guys.
fucking whack
So
job.
You think it's gonna be like Snow White and like Enchanted and all that shit, where it's like the Disney princess that can talk to all the animals, but it's
He just lifts his leg, like this like smoke stench comes out from between his legs.
Yeah, it's just Joe with peanut butter on his balls and bird seed, and he's like,
It's like Daniel starting a Home Alone 2. All the pigeons come torpedo him in. Because they can't help but nip the sack a little bit there.
Oh Christ!
Can you imagine like a hobo, like Disney princess version, but it's just Joe? Oh man.
Joe's like the guy in Song of the South, and he goes, "Skies are blue."
Jesus Christ! Well, Zentron did have a question, but I don't think
I'm
I
offended
changed
that
it.
Joe's pretending to be a black man here.
He said, "If you could give Swiftwind a new voice, what would he sound like and why?" I thought Swiftwind sounded fun.
No, I love
Yeah,
that voice.
that's a great
Yeah,
voice.
Lou Scheimer's like that's how I picture Strider, which Strider talked briefly in the Origin of the Sorceress, but that's how I've always pictured. I couldn't picture Swiftwind talking any other way. Like Swiftwind is a very beautiful looking horse, but I love the manly voice. Like he just sounds like a very tough, dependable voice, and that's what was so good about Lou Scheimer.
I love Swiftwind.
It's fucking. I do too. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the things that would stick out to me when you guys were recommending She-Ra episodes, and Swiftwind had quite a bit of dialogue. I really like that voice. I like the tone. It's kind of a little hint of just a little bit of smart ass in there too.
Yeah. Swiftwind's a great character, and they took a lot of care. That's something that people just don't get.
A powerful voice, and it was a powerful voice. He did. He had a really powerful voice.
Lou did such a wonderful job. He did Light Hope, Swiftwind. It's just God. It would just keep going down the list. Montana, of course. There's a lot of voice enhancements as well, but still, it was just somewhat where you can clearly tell that's just Lou being Lou. Like his Randor, his Stratos. It was wonderful. Trapjaw, Triclops.
Why'd you have to ruin it with Stratos? I didn't even think about him. All right, let's get to another question. Sobek said,
just go dip your balls in peanut butter or some shit, Joe.
Peanut butter. All right. I
Go
might try
dip
to
your
lick it off
balls.
myself.
I like how you cut yourself. Go dip your balls in butt.
I might do what you showed, Nathan. The guy that was on that our sponsor, where he was flipped over. I might try to get the peanut butter off myself. But let's go to Sobek.
Come on, man.
No. Sobek had a question.
That's a waste of peanut butter. Joe's like, let me get that shit.
I don't remember
He
mentioning...
takes like a piece of moldy bread and like slaps it on there. Ah, yeah, open face sandwich.
God, I myself don't remember mentioning Church's chicken. I assume that's what he meant because he said, "Question to Joe: why do you hate Church's?" And I think I did mention Church's chicken one
Joe's
time.
the Antichrist.
Well, I'm thinking he means the chicken because I think I'm assuming.
Joe's the devil.
Yeah, he's like Damien.
I guess I'll have to wait to see which.
If he does mean Church's chicken, I would assume Joe doesn't hate Church's chicken. I think if he just has
I don't
choice.
really hate it. It's just
what about chicken that's served at church, like potluck? There, Joe, you like that?
No, I don't eat people's strange food like that.
But what do you mean? You won't go to like a potluck dinner like after church? You of all people, and it's free. And you won't eat it.
I am weird sometimes, unless.
Are you nuts?
I kind of am. It's I don't.
You will buy shit that you don't know if the guy's picking his nose and putting it in your Popeye's bread and shit like that, but you won't go to church.
Oh, thanks for giving me a mental image.
Now he's never going to do that again.
Yeah, and Aunt B brings over some fresh buttered rolls and fried chicken. You're like, I can't do it. I don't know where
to be fair, I do kind of understand slightly where Joe's coming from because I too also am finicky about eating other people's cooking.
Yeah. Unless I know.
There's some stuff I feel like, unless it's something you never had before, but people who bring rolls, desserts, macaroni and cheese.
But see, even all of that can still be bad and not that great, and then you're under the impression of, well, you don't want to make them feel bad, so you got to eat it all or most of it. But
what if someone were to bring you guys over, like someone brings over you and Emily some food? Hey, we brought you some dinner. Here you go. Let's have dinner together.
For people I know, I guess, but I mean, kind of random church people.
But I feel like if you go to like a lunch after church, and you go to the banquet hall, they set up all this big elaborate lunch. You don't know who made whatever, so you don't have to worry about offending somebody if you took a spoonful or a scoop of something that you thought looked good and it was like, powdered shit. It's just awful. But you don't have to worry about hurting the feelings because you don't know who made it.
I'll be honest, the one things that I do eat when there is a church get-together is if somebody will bring in a box of Krispy Kreme or some donuts that, bam, they open like that, then I'll grab a cup. I do that.
Yeah, but Joe doesn't eat it if, like, they made it. If they went and got it from somewhere, then he's okay with it. Yeah. I do kind of get it a little bit. I do. Okay. I get it.
So unless Joe has made it himself in the bowels of his kitchen, which I imagine is like this kind of dungeon with, grease and butter all over the place.
Some kind of, I guess, standards. I don't know. I get finicky about some things.
I love how Joe has standards when he clearly lets us know he has no standards. But
yeah, it is a little contradictory. But
Joe is quite the he's a puzzle. He's in a Rubik's Cube. We cannot figure this guy out. Just when we think we've got it figured out, fuck, it's all orange and white on this side. It's not all the same color. Damn it.
Well, what's the Roddy Piper quote? Just when you think you have all the answers, I changed the question. Yeah, that's Joe.
Yeah, and Joe is wearing plaid, so that's the foot of a kilt on this. Joe is the Roddy Piper of this podcast.
And he was always out there fucking crazy. I kind of go wired off the rails like him. That's a good comparison.
Coconuts over Snuka.
Yeah, you got a good point there.
Yep. Papa 69, and I thought you might have mentioned this before, Tyler. I could be wrong, but he said, Tyler, you did a fine job with your rendition of Fistos Forest. Could you do a similar thing to the episode The Problem with Power? I felt like you did one time. Didn't you say what you would have done to make it better? I'm almost certain.
Yeah, I think we. I know I've touched on that because mainly a lot. I think there's just some hokiness. There's some great moments in that episode, stuff that could be worked upon. But yeah, that it's a great idea. I wouldn't change the cast. I'd keep the cast the same. But it's just not executed that well. I know James swears by that episode, and I get why he likes it. It's a celebrated episode. It's just I think it's a very weak execution. A lot of lousy dialogue. Some stuff in this just not necessary, but you can still get Skeletor being the reason He-Man thinks he's killed somebody and gives up the power sword, and then it's a race against time to get the power sword back to prevent Skeletor and General Tataran. So I know I've done it. I can't remember which episode we've done it, but I'd say that's probably like another episode we could do where we all pick another. Doesn't have to be a complete shit episode, but an episode that probably missed the mark.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that would probably be one that I could go back and revisit and retool. Because there's a couple that I feel like there's something good here, but what we got was clearly not good.
Okay. Yeah. All right, and I know you have some of these. Daniel Carhoonan said, do you collect any food-related He-Man stuff, like Burger King, Masters of the Universe, meal boxes? I have all the meal boxes. I have a couple of the cups. I have all the little items that came from Burger King. But I think Tyler has all the cups, don't you?
I just got the cups. I really would love to have the Happy Meal boxes because there's some beautiful-looking artwork on those boxes.
Oh, yeah, I got all of them. I love those. Yeah.
I of course, at the time when I saw them, people were asking far too much for them because at that time my money was very tight. Now I could be like, sometimes I have my Nathan moments where I could be like Scrooge McDuck, like, fine, whatever you want, just send it in the mail. I want it in the mail by tomorrow.
Shit, I'd love to know who that artist was, but I'm gonna turn the camera because I got three other things that are kind of cool.
There's some that have like some of the latter characters, like when the movie came out, like Blades on it and Gwildor, like, and those are
did
awesome.
Weird. And they tried to do like a little mini story, like a little bit on the front and on the back. They did little puzzles and games and all sorts of cool shit. But I'm gonna grab some things. I can't remember if you have.
I can see we could end up talking Nathan into getting a set of these cups.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say I kind of want to get the cups.
I mean, there's such beautiful looking cups.
Tyler,
the comic strips.
That's another story. Since there's 4 cups, we're all going to choose a cup, and we'll make a story off of what they did. Because remember, they had a little story there. We'll expand and make the stories bigger.
Well, I mean, look at this one here. This will be a challenge because
hold it down just a little bit more. There you go.
Yeah, right there.
This Mossman cup literally is Skeletor's trying to take over Castle Grayskull. He-Man turns into Thunder Punch. He-Man punch the shit out of Skeletor, and that's it. That's the story. It's gonna be kind of hard to. Now, I like Joe's idea. I truly do. Whoever lands this cup, it's going to be quite the challenge to expand.
Well, let's do it in 2 weeks, maybe. If we don't have if we don't have our topic for 2 weeks from now, let's do that.
See this here, the Buzz Off one. You can expand upon the box art for the Fright Zone because Buzz Off is the ones in the prison, much like on the box art. So this could be tied in with whatever you could come up with in the box art story. So whoever draws this one is gonna have a lot more fun to play with. The two bad one, and the Moss Man one, I think are going to be. Here's the other one. I got doubles here. Actually, I can get. Hey, Nathan, I can give you some. I got doubles here, Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's one.
I got doubles, all of them actually. Holy
2,
shit.
3. Wait. I'll be damned.
You got doubles of both. I'm getting me a set of cups. Holy shit. Don't even have to spend my money.
Thank Daniel Carhoonen for that. If it wasn't for his question, this shit wouldn't happen.
They've just been sitting over here.
Thanks, Daniel. I'm gonna get a set of cups.
Wait. I take it back. I don't have doubles of the Moss Man.
Well, I mean,
but you've got 3. You'll have 3 here. You'll have 3 of the 4 cups.
Well, are you sure?
Absolutely, bud. They're
All
just sitting over here.
Okay. Oh,
wait,
fuck.
let me.
Actually, no, I don't have doubles of any of them. They came out with 8 cups.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the Moss Man one is the only one.
Okay.
I do not have. What? Oh, there it is. I was saying, where the fuck is it? Yeah, that's the only one I don't have doubles of. So you've got 3 here.
Okay. Yeah, shit. I'll take those and find somewhere to display them.
Nathan can sit here and sip on it. He can drink his booze out of these cups.
No, I'm not gonna put anything inside the cups.
Yeah, you better not.
Yeah.
Kick your ass.
All right, let me show you my shit real quick.
Oh well, Joe, is it green? Is it presumptuous? Is it a meaty shit that you took? I mean,
no. That's
is it something
first,
you take pictures of? Sort of like an Instagram account about your shit.
We got a He-Man shoelace face loop for your shoes, but this is that's one of the things. I never opened that.
I remember when they would do shit like that all the time. Yep. It's like, put these on your shoelaces, man. It'd be badass.
This one will be hard to see, but it's a Gwildor charm. It's Gwildor, but it's a charm.
That's awesome.
And this is the stuff that came with the Burger King meals?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got a shield that you could put your straw holder, because the straw holder is this. It's a power sword. It's the whole power sword.
I can't believe Joe has those. I cannot believe.
And still like in the package too.
Yeah. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, don't ask me why I decided to open this one out of all of them, but the others I just I can't open them.
Don't ask me how I got them. I can't tell you where I hid the body.
I have no fucking clue. Wait, I do remember. I was obsessed with Frisbee, and I thought this looked like a Frisbee, and I remember I used to fling it all the time. That is the reason I love this. So there, this was a Frisbee.
Yeah, look at that. It's a Frisbee, and then he throws it. That's not a Frisbee. Oh, well. And then he gets his stamp and just angrily starts stamping on it. You're not a real Frisbee.
Oh, yeah, that whole story, Jesus Christ. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll. Let me see what other questions we have. Hold on.
Well, there's one from Sportimus, which I feel like that we also have talked about quite a few times. If Filmation got a 3rd season, what are some of the things you'd like to see in terms of stories or characters? I don't know if that's...
I think we did like a what if Filmation had continued. I'm pretty sure we did do something like that.
You're right. I'll look that up too to give you a direct line to that. Come on, highlight on there. I want to say it's episode 257.
All right, I'll be right back while you're looking that up.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Go to episode 257. That is our what if there's a 3rd season of Filmation. So go to that and you'll get everything. And I'm pretty sure we go into that much detail. Here's the characters. Here's the plot lines and stories we would have told. So what? 257 for that? What the other one was? What 262 for the commercials?
I can't remember what you said.
I'll look it up again.
See, I'm being honest. I think that
my memory is bad. Yeah, 262 for the commercials, and then 257 for the 3rd season of Filmation.
Okay. All right. I think I'll save one more question for when Tyler gets back, because I know they would have probably just screwed him if this character would have shown up in Filmation, whatever. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine the voice he would have had, what they would have done. It would have been a hot mess. But we're gonna, yeah, here. All right, Tyler. One more question to wrap it up, and yeah, this one unfortunately probably would have ended up being bad, but
Oh, great!
Question
Just how we're
answer
gonna go out. We're gonna go out on a sour note like that.
Maybe
well,
a
not
stinky
really, but
one.
you'll see what I mean. Yeah, Papa Hood 69 said, Joe, Tyler, and Nathan, if Stinkor had appeared in the Filmation cartoon, who do you think would have been a good voice actor for him? I mean, we know who could be good voice actors, but sadly, we know what would have fucking happened. If they joked up all the other characters and made horrendous voices to make them just sound so fucking obnoxious, I don't even know what they would have done. There's no way they would have made him sound cool at all. I think Luke could.
I could see them doing the Alan Oppenheimer like Sven voice, that really kind of like nasally, squeaky voice.
Boy,
Just because I could see them like just trying to find any way to dumb down the character, and obviously, and they didn't like the character. So for a character they didn't really care to do or didn't want to do, but they ended up doing him anyway. I could see him probably could have given Too Bad a run for his money in terms of being portrayed like by far the worst. So we probably dodged a bullet. As much as it would have been awesome to see Stinkor animated in Filmation, to get him in NYP, and he was depicted, pretty damn good in that show. It was well worth the wait. Aside from the fact they had to throw in a fart joke at the end of the Sweet Smell of Victory, like who? What's the Joe? Joe was probably like, "Oh, he done it again."
No. But I did want to say, yes, send your prayers to Scott Hall. I guess he's on life support. If you guys, are
I heard he was hospitalized. I didn't know how severe it was.
Apparently now, and the JSP usually knows what he's saying. But go ahead.
He fell down and broke his hip, and then he had to have surgery on it. And then during the surgery, there was a blood clot complication, and he had 3 heart attacks. So that's why he's on.
God.
Well, I mean, you guys also got to think too, like, all the booze and drugs he did, like, he went hard for a long time. That obviously not helping him much here.
No.
So I
God, especially when it really felt like he was getting his act cleaned up and living a pretty good life.
but it's also it wasn't a thing of him that I know of. Nothing's come out. I don't think it's a thing of him like relapsing or anything. He just fell and broke it because Scott Hall, I mean, he's kind of,
he's a big guy too,
and like he is 63. He's not a spring chicken anymore. Shit like that happens as you get older, and I mean their bodies are broken down quite a bit.
Oh God, those guys put their bodies through hell. Like it's so easy to sit back and quarterback off of what those guys did in the ring. But Scott Hall was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Period. I mean, I put him up there with Bret, Hogan, Shawn. In terms of like personal favorites, like
one of those is not like the other.
Of course, you're going to say that.
Yeah, you got 3 really good workers and Hulk Hogan.
I'm sorry, Bret, Shawn, Ultimate Warrior.
For me, I admit, I love the Ultimate Warrior, but no, as for a wrestler, he ain't gonna wrestle. Sting, can wrestle over the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, there's no comparison. I'm trying. If we're gonna break it down, then yes, Hogan does not belong in that group. Of course not. But in terms of like greats of the ring, whether you liked what they did or not, I mean, Hogan belongs in that group, and he, whatever. But Scott Hall is definitely someone that is not praised nowhere near enough as an in-ring performer, and a guy who could cut an awesome promo too.
Yes, he could.
So,
well, definitely, like I said, we're sending well wishes, prayers his way. Hopefully, everybody else does. Because
Nathan, we need to make sure Joe sees that video of him giving Virgil shit about selling Mike Tyson pictures and stuff like that. You remember that video?
Yeah. Well, Lacey Dean just popped in too and said that William Hurt passed away.
Yeah, I saw that. 71 years old, passed away today.
Damn. All right.
What, today?
Right before we did the podcast. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I saw that.
Jesus. Well, can we try to end in a happy note? So just say one last thing.
Someone give us a happy question. Come on, one happy question, so we'll get out of here. So I can get
wait. What's Sportimus saying that's messed up? Because I'm like 3 good workers and Hulk Hogan. It's true. Like, yeah, sure. I guess to a degree. I mean, what Hogan did worked, obviously, because he was at the top for as long as he was. But still, like, come on.
He's better than Cena in the ring.
No, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Cena's a way better in-ring
His shitty
worker.
moveset.
I mean, Hogan had a shitty moveset. Punch, back rake,
Body slam.
Hulk up,
big,
punch, punch, punch.
big boot, leg drop. That's it. People want to give Cena
Yeah,
shit for 5 moves
know how
of
to do
doom.
is like, let me show you how good I am. You know his bullshit.
Well, I'm not talking about his character. We're just strictly talking about in-ring work. Cena's a better worker than Hogan ever was.
Oh, whatever. You're so full of shit.
Not full of shit.
You're full of it.
Maybe that just ends that way because that was actually at least entertaining, something funny.
Let me just give the context here. Nathan's had it out for Hogan since the day I met him. Like, Nathan has never liked Hogan. Ever since he found out I was a Hogan fan growing up, he is always.
No, I
had it
wasn't.
out for
I
me
was
and
starting
Hogan.
to not like Hogan well before I ever met you.
Oh, I'm just saying though, that's all I've ever known is Nathan hates Hogan. Always.
Yeah,
has.
well, I mean, when he turned heel, I'm like, oh man, that's cool. That's what actually got me to tune back in because I was out of it for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
He turned heel, and I'm like, this is interesting, and then it was interesting for all. Then it's just droning promos. Well, yeah, brother, I'm gonna politic, and he's going down, brother. But for like 15 minutes of that.
I would love the people who listen to this podcast to listen to Nathan do a commentary for a random because me and Nathan a while back we didn't record it, but we actually watched. We did like a running commentary for a couple of episodes of Nitro, and just sit and just watch like matches of.
They were the bad ones too. This was like Dungeon of Doom 1 hour Nitros back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And then we watched the Macho Man Hogan match against it was like the
oh god
what was it?
Yeah, the stable the stable that was going to kill Hulkamania. So it was like Kevin Sullivan and what did they call
the
Zeus?
Horsemen were in there.
Yeah, the Horsemen.
Didn't they bring in Shark or something?
No,
Yeah, wasn't Earthquake didn't become Shark? No,
this
Zeus was in there.
Yeah.
The guy who played Bane and Batman and Robin was in there.
Yeah.
Like
where was Yeti? Was Yeti part of them, or he's
Not
something
yet,
else?
no.
That was what Halloween Havoc was.
Yeah, that came.
And the Yeti.
Yeah,
The Yeti, that damn bear hug. It looked like he was. What the hell is going on?
But to listen to Nathan, like that's something I would love our listeners to be treated to. Is like a extra content is to like sit and just listen. Do a watch along with Nathan as he watches like a shitty Nitro or a shitty Thunder.
I mean, it's basically just gonna be me sitting there and be like, "Oh, that guy sucks. What a shit move."
Yeah, but see, he says that, but until you watch it with him, and he's picking apart everything. Like he's very precise. But he's funny as hell because he's like, oh my god, this guy fucking sucks. Like fucking Buff Bagwell, Marcus Sanders and Alexander Bagwell. Like he'll cut it. It's a real treat. People need to see it more. Nathan did one wrestling podcast and he did not get to shine the way that I know him. And I think a lot of people who listen to this podcast like professional wrestling, old stuff especially. I think everyone really needs to hear like Nathan do a commentary for.
This is gonna be people. It's like watch one of those old shitty Survivor Series where the action is boring as fuck. Great.
I love Survivor Series 1990 and 89, dude. Love them.
Love them. So boring.
All right, well, that's a good way to end it because we're hitting our 2-hour mark. This is where we wrap it up anyways. We all have something we're going to have to do. So if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so you can always be notified when we go live. And until next time, have a powerful day.
Hi, Lloyd. A little slow tonight.
What? That's it? Wait,
yeah.
Am I gonna feel like an asshole for not knowing this?
Both of you are. I'm shocked,
Really?
Joe. I'm really shocked both of you guys don't have this. Like you two especially.
This can't be Halloween. I hear Lori and I think Halloween, but I was like, no, it's
No,
too
he
obvious.
said Lloyd, right?
Oh, I think he said Lori.
No.
No.
Oh, Lloyd. God, Dumb and Dumber has Lloyd, but that doesn't make sense either.
No, there's no Lloyd Christmas in this quote here. No Harry Dunn.
Oh, shit. Fuck, I'm trying to think of movies.
Both of you guys. Both of you.
Oh, boy. Really, both of us.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'll admit, I give up. But I'll wait and see if Nathan, he can pull through. Maybe he can He can trooper this one out or something. I don't know.
I got
no
nothing.
clue.
I got nothing.
Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Oh.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, fuck!
So
We both did at the same time.
so
So,
this,
this fucking the bartender. Yeah.
Well, Joe, you know that Tyler's cast you multiple times. If we were to ever do like a Shining, like I wouldn't call it a remake, but just like a
a parody, but a Fans of Power production of like our interpretation of the Shining.
I could fucking whack out on that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I cast Nathan as Jack Torrance. I cast Rebecca as Shelley Duvall. I cast you as Danny, and also to play all the ghosts that show up in the hotel. Which turns out it's not ghosts; it's just he's a bum that that got locked in the hotel. And he's eating all the food.
He's shitting in the floor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Instead of seeing like a guy in a dog costume giving a blowjob, like you just see Joe's bare ass down the hallway. He's like eating a Milky Way, just like looks down the hallway, sees Rebecca, like, ha! But his pasty pale ass is sticking out of the dog costume.
It's always pasty pale ass every fucking episode.
And Rebecca's just wandering around like, fuck you, Joe.
It's like for whatever reason.
Nathan's like, I sell my soul for a glass of beer. And looks at Emily. Emily's the unimpressed bartender. Like, look, sir, I'm the ghost that got stuck working the late shift over the winter break. What the fuck do you want?
Beer.
Oh, shit.
I need beer.
And he's like, he's constantly talking about, little fucker Joe, I just jerked his arm up. Like, and I give a shit why.
And then what would be our version of Lindsay Lohan in The Parent Trap? We have Joe as Danny on his big wheel riding around.
Yeah, and on the He-Man big wheel going around the hotel.
And then he stops to see the bum that he's also playing. So he's sharing the screen with himself. It's gonna be magical.
It's pretty intense. I mean, it's gonna be unbelievable. And then we'll have Joe play Catman Crothers too, because we all know why.
See you guys next time.